The information and opinions expressed on Senior Living are neither legally binding nor the responsibility of this cable system. The following program is made possible by a generous donation from the Veterans Assistance Association.
Hi, my name is Pat Simasko, and I'm an elder law attorney, and thanks for tuning into this segment of Senior Living. And I'm very, very excited about this segment. And we're going to be talking about the veterans benefits, aid in attendance, or improved pension. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful program that the Department of Veteran Affairs offers, that if you know anybody that's a wartime veteran or a surviving spouse of the wartime veteran, please watch this show, because it's a huge benefit that can help. Not many people know about it. And what it is that we're talking about is aid and attendant care. If you are a wartime veteran or the surviving spouse, the Department of Veteran Affairs offers this program that is absolutely fabulous. And what it's designed to do is help keep family members in their home longer, in independent assisted living, or if you're in a nursing home, it helps pay the nursing home during your spend down period. And it's just an absolute wonderful benefit. I am a certified veteran consultant. I'm not a member of the Department of Veteran Affairs. You can go to your local county office. They have a veteran service officer that can help. There's also other veteran service organizations like VFW or Vietnam Veterans of America or Disabled Veterans of America that can help you with this program. But I'm out here to educate you on the benefit. And again, what it's done is to help keep mom and dad at home longer in assisted living, because it helps provide extra income to them for in-home care, whether it's a family caregiver, a private pay company that's coming to help take care of mom and dad. If you have to go to respite care, it'll help pay for that. If you have to go to independent living, assisted living. So it's helping keep mom and dad in an environment that she wants to be in just as long as possible, to keep mom out of the nursing home. Now, to get this benefit, there's eligibility requirements and also qualification requirements. The first one is eligibility. To be eligible, dad has to be a wartime veteran. And what that means is 90 days of active duty, only 1 day during wartime. So you don't have to be over there charging up the hill. You just have to be in a wartime period for 90 days. Out of that 90 days, only 1 day during a wartime period. The second eligibility requirement is you have to have a discharge other than dishonorable. How many discharges are there? Does anyone know in the audience? How many? How many?
Medical, honor, medical, and general.
General, honorable, administrative, dishonorable, and the fifth one is I forget the fifth one. There's 5 of them. It'll come to me in a second. You screwed me up. I knew that one. So you want any of those discharges other than dishonorable. Okay. Now the last one is, the hardest one for a lot of people, you have to be over 65. Okay. That is an eligibility requirement that typically most people that are getting the benefit are over 65. However, if you're under 65, you can still get the benefit, but you have to prove that you're disabled. You need extra medical records to prove that you're disabled. The reason for 65, generally you can't serve in the military if you're over 65. So they say that you're disabled, okay, since you can't serve. But if you're under 65, if you have a Vietnam veteran that got hurt, or maybe there's problems, they had a stroke at a young age or early onset of dementia, absolutely you can meet that eligibility requirement, just you're going to need more medical records to do it. Okay, that's the first eligibility. Periods of wartime. 3 major ones that we're going to be dealing with. World War II, December 7th of 1941 to December 31st of 1946. World War II. Korean War. It's from June 27th of 1950 to January 31st of 1955. So 50 to 55. 50 to 55. It's wartime period. Okay. Now, both of those wars, you do not have to be over there to be eligible for the benefit. My dad, he was served in the Korean War. He was in Colorado doing it. He was never over there. He's eligible for the benefit. For the Vietnam era, this is the only difference. Between August 5th of 1964 and May 7th of 1975, you can be in the Vietnam War serving wherever it's at. You do not have to be over there. But if you're in the Vietnam, and I'm looking at my screen here, between 61 and 64, you have to be in Vietnam for 1 day. So 61 to 64, you have to be in Vietnam to be eligible for 1 day during that period of time. Okay? 1 foot on the ground, your boat in gray water. So that's the biggest thing. So where do you get those dates from? Your discharge papers. You have to look at your discharge papers. For the family members at home, look for your discharge papers. Your kids don't know where they're at. Moms, you look for the marriage license. We need that. Dads, you look for the discharge planners. We need that as well. Your kids don't know where they're at. When you're filing for the VA, since we're on the subject for a minute, we need the original discharge papers. A lot of people, they have that little card, or it's a copy of the discharge papers. That's not enough. We actually need the original discharge papers. If you can't find them, we can help you get a copy from the National Archives. You can go onto va.gov, you can do an online request, or you can mail in a request to have your discharge papers sent back to you. Guaranteed what's going to happen, when they mail you back a letter, they're going to say that the National Archives burned to the ground. And all the discharge papers burned to the ground, right? So they don't have the original. That's okay. That letter that you get back is going to be good enough. And it says what your wartime period is. So again, 41 to 46, 50 to 55, 64 to 75. You don't have to be over there. That's the wartime. So now you look to see, are we eligible? Great. Don't call me up and say, Pat, where's my check? Okay? You got to be qualified to get it. There's different parts of the qualifications to get the VA benefit. The first one is a medical need. Second, income rules. Third, asset rules. So let's talk about the medical need first. It's an improved pension for aid and attendant care. It's designed to help someone stay at home longer that needs the help. So what we need to do to get this benefit is a doctor's letter that says that, hey, Dad's sick and he needs the help. Something's wrong with Dad. He's had a stroke. He's got dementia. He's got Alzheimer's. He fell and broke his hip. His wife just passed away and he has horrible depression and he can't leave the house. All of those are elements that come into play that they need something's wrong with Dad, and as a result, it needs help with at least one of his activities of daily living. We just need one. So we need a doctor's note that says sick, and he needs help with his activities of daily living. What are the activities of daily living? Medication management. You're taking care of Mom, and she can't remember to take her pills, so you have to lay out the pills for Mom. And you go over there every week and you lay them out. Then you call Mom 10 times a day. Did you take your pill, Mom? Did you take it? Which pill was that again? You got to go over and remind her. Medication management. Help cooking for her. You go and you do all the meals for her and you put her in the freezer. And then she can work the microwave. But make sure she doesn't do the stove because you know what might happen, right? Paying her bills, driving around. That's for in-home care. If Mom has to go to an independent living or an assisted living, and they have the medical team that can come out and help take care of Mom with the pill reminders or making sure Mom's getting dressed in the morning, getting up out of bed and getting down to the dining room. Those are all activities of daily living that we need from, we need those activities so that VA will use that to base the benefit on. When you get the doctor's note, you have to make sure that the doctor writes legibly, right? Doctors are worse than lawyers. They need to make sure that they can understand, the VA reps can read what they're saying. It takes a long, long time to get this VA benefit. And if you send in a doctor's note that they can't read it, they're going to put that file aside while they ask for all of your medical records. And that just takes months and months and months. It adds a lot more time to the VA application process. Okay? Any questions on any of that, guys? No? If you're in an assisted living, in a memory care unit, or a nursing home, it's presumed that you're eligible for the benefit. You're going to have that medical need taken care of. Okay? For the second part of the VA, for the qualification, income has to be less than your medical expenses. Income has to be less than your medical expenses. So what we have is dad, they look at Social Security and pension. If it's a married couple, they look at both of their income. And then they look at their medical expenses. And the income has to be less than their medical expenses. So if dad's at home and he's being cared for by his family members, there is no medical expense. They only look at his health insurance premiums. They used to look at their prescription costs. They don't do that anymore. So if he's getting caretakers to come in and help take care of dad at home, that can be considered a medical expense. Whether it's a family member or a private company, a family member can actually be considered a medical expense if you have it set up right. If they go to the assisted living and you have the rent, mom's in independent living and she's just there because it's a nice place, the food's great, and it's a nice environment, that's not going to be enough to be considered a medical expense. The VA requires that you have additional services come in, whether it's the pill reminders or you have the shower assist. When you pay that little bit extra to take care of mom in the facility, that's going to be considered a medical expense, and that's what we need for that. So let's take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the VA benefits and how we get them. So thanks a lot.
The call to serve. It has no sound, yet I have heard it in the whispered retelling of honorable sacrifices made by those who have served before me. The call to serve has no form, yet I have clearly seen it in the eyes of men and women infinitely more courageous and more driven than most. The call to serve has no weight, yet I have held it in my hands. I will commit to carry it close to my heart until my country is safe and the anguish of those less fortunate has been soothed. The call to serve is at once invisible and always present. And for those who choose to answer the call, for their country, for their fellow man, for themselves, it is the most powerful force on earth. America's Navy, a global force for good. To answer the call, go to Navy.com or call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Imagine the action and see nearly a century of Michigan aviation heritage at the Selfridge Military Air Museum. Enjoy a walk around the air park and bring your cameras for a most authentic military aviation history experience. We're open to the public April through October on weekends, Memorial Day, and Independence Day from 12 noon to 4:30 p.m. Group tours for adults and kids of all ages can be arranged, so call us today at 586-239-6768 or 586-239-5035.
Thanks for tuning back in. My name is Patrick Simasko, elder law attorney and certified veterans consultant, and we're talking about the aid and attendant care or the improved pension. And I guess the last time we left, we're talking about how your income has to be less than your medical expenses to be able to get the benefit. I like to talk about my dad's situation a lot. He was in the Korean War, but again, he was in Colorado fighting the fight, so he was never over in country. He had a stroke about 15, 20 years ago, and then 4 or 5 years ago, he fell and broke his hip. And we took him down to the VA hospital to get all of his therapy. He had his operation. It was the best experience for him. When he came home, we have all of his medical bills covered through the VA. Also, his prescriptions are provided through the VA. He has no medical expenses, but he still needs a lot of help. So what I thought, why can't we try and hire my brother to take care of him? My brother's been coming over all the time to take care of him, make sure he gets dressed and his pills and takes care of all of his affairs for him. Why can't we hire him and pay him to do that? And we did. We entered into a care contract with him. And we pay him enough to make it income less than medical expenses, and we provided that to the VA. Within 2 months, we got the full benefit, and it was absolutely the best day of my life as a lawyer, because it's providing my dad extra income to help stay at home longer, but also provides my brother the opportunity to get paid for the services that he's really doing. And that's great for all of our viewers that maybe have lost their job, or they're taking the time to take care of mom and dad at home. If we set it up as this care contract, we can use that for the VA process, and it's wonderful. Or it can take a long, long time to get the VA application through. So if you really have an idea that mom is going to an assisted living, it could take 15 months for this application process to go through. If you can get the ball rolling now while mom and dad are at home, we have that benefit already in place when they have to go to an assisted living. Do you have a question?
What about if you hire an in-home care agency that comes in to help?
Absolutely. In-home care is, whether it's a company coming in, absolutely that's going to be a medical expense for them. And there's some wonderful companies out there that can do that. So they're coming in to take care of mom and making sure she gets up in the morning and making sure she has her pills. That's the medical expense that we're looking for the VA application.
Now, what if I've been taking care of my mom for a year? Will they cover that?
Well, that's the question that's kind of up in the air right now. When you typically apply for the VA benefit, you get your ducks in a row and you apply for the VA. It could take 6 months, it could take a year. The VA benefit will go retroactive to the month after your application. Now the question is, and I get all the time, hey, could I be getting this benefit for the last 5 years or 6 years or 10 years? We've had this. The answer is generally no. Maybe you can go back within the last year because they look at it as a yearly medical expense versus your yearly income. But most people don't have their ducks in a row until right up to the time of their application. They weren't paying someone. They had excess assets. We can definitely try, but there's just no guarantee on it. Okay?
I was wondering about when one was in World War II. Okay, like me, I got my feet froze over. Well, as you said, all the papers burned up. They claimed the papers burned up. They had no record, so now I lost out on that. Am I right or wrong?
Well, the answer is maybe. But I want to tell you, if you look at the VA manual, it's about a mile long.
Yep.
I know about 20 pages in the middle of it, and that's the aid and attendant care. What you're looking for is compensation. You got hurt in the war, and you want to get compensated. There, absolutely, I recommend that you go down to your local veteran service officer and talk to them about how you can get those benefits reinstated or obtained.
I've gotten it all, but the one for the frozen feet, I got the 100%. I already got that almost 5 years ago.
Wonderful.
And
now, let me answer a question that you may not even be thinking. If you're getting 100% compensation benefit, if that benefit is higher than your aid and attendant benefit, you're not going to get both of them. Okay, so let's say you're 10% disabled and you're getting $300 a month. They're going to knock $300 a month off of your aid and attendant benefit.
Oh.
Okay, so you're never going to get more than the maximum, and you're not going to get two at one time. Okay?
Thank you.
Pat, if you have a loved one that's in assisted living and they're receiving supplemental services like bathing or grooming, does the whole cost of the room and board then become the medical expense?
The way that we set up, yes. Again, that when you're applying for the VA benefit, we need a doctor's note that says that dad needs the help. He needs to be in your facility or in an assisted living or independent living facility because he needs to be in a safe environment, because he's going to get these extra services like bathing, shower assist, pill reminders, or medication management. So when you combine the two together, it's considered a medical expense for him. Good question. Oh, one more question.
I was talking about that. I'm not interested in any money. All I'm interested in is the Purple Heart. I think I should have that.
Okay.
It belongs to me.
Well, you deserve it. Absolutely.
I think it does. So, you know, if they give me that, I'm satisfied. I won't bother them anymore, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We have a question right behind him.
We keep forgetting to mention the 214 form.
DD 214, that's your discharge papers.
That is the total discharge papers.
That's the one that we need. To get the VA benefit, they need the original discharge papers, and that's called the DD 214.
Everybody here should make a duplicate copy and give somebody in their family one copy of it.
Very good point. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that. Now, we're eligible, we're qualified. How much are we entitled to get? Doesn't happen very often. If you have two married veterans, husband and wife were both in the service, they're entitled to $2,540 a month. If you have a veteran and a spouse, so dad was in the service, he's married, he gets $1,949 a month. If you're a single veteran, $1,644 a month. And a surviving spouse, $1,056 a month. So the typical ones: married couple, $1,949 a month; single veteran, $1,644 a month; surviving spouse, $1,056 a month. Best part: tax-free. Tax-free. So all you single ladies out there, look for a nice wartime veteran. Okay? We got some right here in the office. We have the Simasko Law Dating Referral Service. Okay? The question that comes up a lot, and I always ask the kids, we're doing planning, and we're doing planning, and we go, was your dad ever in the service? Yeah, but he's passed away. Well, we can get mom this VA benefit of $1,056 a month. So they come back into the office and they go, by the way, mom and dad were divorced. Can't get it. It has to be the surviving spouse of a wartime veteran. So if they got divorced, it's not going to, she will not be eligible for the benefit. So then the question is, well, what if she remarries? Can she get it? Absolutely, she can get it, but she has to be married for 1 year. So start now, ladies. Okay, start now. So it's $1,949 a month, $1,644 a month, or $1,056 a month. That's the money that's going to keep mom out of the nursing home. That really provides her or him that extra money to keep them home for longer. Okay.
What about looking at how much they have like in their accounts, like for savings account or checking account? Is there a limitation on their assets?
There is an asset limit. There is an asset limit. For income, again, income less than medical. As a general rule, and we talked about this for Medicaid planning, they look at all of your assets. Your house that you live in is an exempt asset. A car, exempt asset. A funeral contract is an exempt asset. But the general rule is, for a married couple, you can have $80,000 in financial assets or other assets. For a married couple, a single person, it's $40,000 in assets. The difference between Medicaid and VA, Medicaid, if you give away assets, they look back 5 years. 5 years. For VA purposes, they have very liberal rules. you can give away assets and you can apply for the VA benefit the very next month. So you can go ahead and shelter your assets and apply for the VA benefit the next month. They allow it. They allow it. So while you're trying to get Medicaid or protecting your assets from a nursing home, you can use the VA benefit to help give you the time to get through that 5-year period. That's a good question. Okay. Technical rules, it's hard to get into detail on each family member until you actually, if you want to come into the office and talk about it. Okay. Common misconceptions. People think they can't get the benefit because they never got hurt in service. You don't need it. It's not a disability-based benefit. You did not have to be hurt at all. Next misconception, I was never over there. You don't need it unless in that one period during the Vietnam era. You did not have to be charging up the hill. My dad, again, he was in Colorado. He's just as eligible for this benefit as the guy that was serving in active duty at the front line. Okay? I hear this all the time. The family members go to the VA and they come back and says, we can't get the VA benefit because I make too much money. That's never the case. They don't have an income cap. It's not that your income is too high, it's your medical expenses are too low. So my job is to help make sure that you're taking advantage of all the medical expenses, okay? Or I have too many assets. Again, those are technical rules, but we can do planning for you. If you go to a qualified person that knows what he's doing, you can absolutely do planning, whether it's me or some other elder law attorney or any other veteran service organization that knows what they're doing. So this is a wonderful, wonderful benefit. I highly recommend any wartime veteran go out there and investigate to see what it's going to take to get the benefit and how it can help you and your family members. Sadly, we're out of time. Thanks for tuning in again to this segment on veterans benefits, aid and attendant care, and improved pension. My name is Patrick Simasko, and until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thank you.